Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be messages and predictions for your month of June 2024. We are going to start with a general overview of your month where we take a look at the main themes and the main energies that you'll be working with this month, significant events and changes that will be coming your way. And then we are going to look into specific areas of your life. So we're going to look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. And then at the very end of the reading, we are also going to get messages from your spirit guides, which will include general guidance as well as specific questions that you may have for them. So there are 3 readings for you to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. For option number 1, we have this rose quartz Merkaba. For option number 2, we have this clear quartz mushroom. And for option number 3, we have this amethyst cluster. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading all about your month of June 2024. So we're going to start off with the general overview of your month, where basically we're going to look at the main themes and the main energies of your month, significant events and changes. So let's get right into it. Your first card is the 9 of Emotion, which is the 9 of Cups. This is a magical time in your life when wishes are granted and dreams come true. It may seem that good luck is following you, but actually these happy times are your just reward for being a loving and wonderful person. Your angels are asking you to enjoy your life and have more fun. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful card to start off this reading. So your themes for the month: wishes. So there could be a very significant wish for you that is coming true in the month of June, or you could just be finding that whenever you feel like you want something, it manifests for you. Like, this is a month where you are being blessed. Like this card says, you might feel very lucky this month, but this is your angels rewarding you. I would also say with the 9 of Cups, this is going to be a relatively easy month in the sense that there won't be a lot of like stresses or drama. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of things that are messing with your good vibes, because like you're on a good vibe and that's going to be protected. That's going to be secured for you. Look at our next card, Shield. Yeah. So your angels want you to rest assured, like you are on this really high vibe in the month of June, and no one and nothing can interfere with that. Like, you are protected and your blessings are protected as well. Nothing can get in the way of the blessings and opportunities that are meant for you. I'm noticing that there's garlic on this shield, which makes me think of like keeping vampires away. So maybe that is a little metaphor about, you know, like energy vampires. And maybe your angels want you to know that you will be safe from that as well. We have Action, Awaken the Warrior Woman Within. So this is giving me the vibe of taking inspired action to make your dreams come true. And kind of interesting how these two images go together. Like, this warrior is coming up with an arrow, but then they're hitting a shield. So it's like, this could also be you. You could be like beating out competition and being selected for something, or it's just showing like nothing can get in the way of your success because these blessings have already chosen you. And I think that another message coming through with these cards is that there's a piece of advice to take the path of least resistance and to take inspired action. And so what I'm seeing is that if you go after something and like you hit a wall, or if you try to open a door and it won't open for you, it's sort of like just move on to the next one, because this month, you're not going to get what's meant for you by like banging and banging on doors and trying to force things to happen. I feel like what is meant for you will flow to you relatively easily this month. And this is a month where you're going to see your actions paying off. So perhaps efforts that you've put in previous months are finally going to be paying off in June. And then for your botanical slash astro card, we have Primrose. Primrose could be significant to you. I think Primrose can be a name. And there's also like Primrose oil. We have the element of earth, so people with earth placements could be significant, whether that is you or someone else. So that would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn people. We have the planet of Venus here, so love and relationships could also be a major theme for you in the month of June. Basically, relationships of all kinds are harmonious, and that also includes like work and business relationships. And then we have the moon in Aries and the moon in Libra. These could also be significant placements. I just saw 444, by the way. So like if you know someone with a moon in Aries or a moon in Libra, or maybe you have that, that could be a confirmation. But let me check when the moon is going to be in these signs, because those could be important dates for you. So I'm just going on my moon app and I'm gonna go to June. Okay, here we go. So the moon is going to be in Aries from the 1st to the 3rd of June. So the first few days of the month could be important. And then it's going to be in Libra from the 15th to the 17th of June. Those could be important dates for you. And also we have the number 31. Obviously there is no 31st of June, but it could be that like the 1st of July, even though this isn't a July reading, but like 31st of June, 1st of July, I don't know, like the day after the 30th, you know, that could also be an important day. And let's just look at the back of this card. Ooh, so there's like recipes on the back of each card in this deck, and yours is Primrose Champagne. So champagne makes me think that we're celebrating something, like we're toasting to the good times. Yeah, it literally says to celebrate a new start. So there could be a wish that is coming true for you. Like something that you've been working towards and moving towards is coming true. And then you and your close ones are celebrating that, because whatever wish is coming true, it marks like the start of a new era in your life. I'm not going to read this whole recipe, but please do feel free to pause the video if you are interested in it. I do see that the prep time for this Primrose Champagne is 27 days. So something could be happening in about 4 weeks from whenever you are watching this. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at these tea leaf cards to see anything else that you need to know about the month ahead. Ooh, okay, we have Flag. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. Okay. Yeah, there's a wish that is very important to this group, and this is your spiritual team just letting you know that we are going to bring you the whole package. And the work that you have been putting in is worthy of receiving the whole package. I'm also hearing you can receive your first choice. For example, like if you applied to multiple places, you can get accepted at your first choice place. So this is also making me think that before your wish comes true, you could be offered things that are like almost what you wanted, or close to what you wanted, or most of what you wanted. And this flag is letting you know, like, don't be tempted to settle out of fear that like, if I don't take this, then I might not get what I really want. So I should just go with this to be safe. Like, you can get everything that you want and more. We have fan, romance, celebration, party. So there's that celebration again. We have the message of celebrating a new start. We have it here again. Some people could be throwing you a party, like to celebrate you. maybe it's like your birthday this month. I mean, obviously that's not going to be for everyone, but happy birthday. Ooh, did you hear that car honking? Happy birthday if it is your birthday month. You could also be like attending a party, because we also had this message of your angels are asking you to enjoy your life and have more fun. There could be an opportunity to just like let off steam and enjoy merrymaking. And then we also have romance, which we did get that message about. Like love and relationships could be a big theme for you this month, and enjoying harmonious relationships. If you are single and looking to meet someone new, you could be meeting someone new at a party that is thrown for you, and like they're there, or a party that you are attending. Or if you are already in a relationship, attending some kind of party could like just be a fun experience for you, or it could, what's the word I'm looking for? It could add spark, I guess. It could add spark, or it could add romance to your relationship. And then we have Stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. That's awesome. And please feel free to claim both if both of those are things that you are manifesting. Fan also makes me think of, like, some of you could be gaining fans, you know? We have the letters F and S, which could be someone's initials. It's also making me think of like San Francisco, SF. I don't know if FS means something, but yeah, these could be relevant letters. And what I really like about Stork is that it does make me think of like a promising long-term venture. So, you know, it definitely looks like you're celebrating some kind of like achievement and new chapter in your life. And your spiritual team is saying that this new chapter will be like a long-term thing for you. It will continue to bless you in the long term. So this concludes the general overview part of your reading. So we're going to move into the specific areas of your life now. As you can see, I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love life and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the King of Swords. For your oracle card, we have love. Okay, a love card coming out in the love section. We love to see that. It was 11:33 on the camera timer as I'm holding up this card. So 11:33 or repeating ones and threes could be relevant to you. If you are seeing those numbers, it could be a message about your love life. So the King of Swords is representing a person in your life. They could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, especially Gemini. They could be older than you. They could be male. These things don't have to apply to them, but it could be a confirmation, like if you know who this is. But the more important thing about this King of Swords person is that this is someone who is pretty like stoic, you know? So I do think there's someone who feels things deeply, but they don't necessarily let it show. It's kind of someone who tries to hold it together and be strong, and maybe doesn't want to come across as vulnerable. It's just someone who doesn't really show their deeper feelings like that. But this oracle card, love, we see roses, which are a sign of like their sensitivity and delicateness. And we have these water drops, which makes me think of tears, and water does represent emotion too. And we have this heart that is shining, and it's like it's up in the sky for all to see. So this kind of gives the feeling of someone who is usually not that open and expressive about their emotions and is kind of more of a stoic person. They are getting into their feelings in the month of June. And so this could be you, honestly. If you resonate with this kind of personality, this could be you really like getting into your feelings and especially overcome with gratitude, because we have the 9 of Cups here. This is very much like a gratitude energy, and we have energies of celebration. We have energies of a new era. This can be a very sentimental time. So it's kind of like this person who's usually quite stoic is like their heart is cracking open and they're just like on a roll of expressing their love and gratitude. So if you feel like this is you, you might be having a lot of sentimental moments with your loved ones this month. Just really going the extra mile to let them know how much you appreciate them. There could be tears involved. There could be speeches involved. There could be gifts involved. There could just be like really long hugs involved. This is the month where we are letting people know how appreciative we are of them. Now, for some of you, this could be like another person in your life. Maybe someone came to mind when I was describing this person who hasn't really opened up that much and tends to just be like this. King of Swords to me very much gives like cool, calm, and collected. Sometimes they can be the type of person who tries to rationalize and make sense of their emotions before they even get a chance to really just like sit in them and feel them. But this person seems to be having kind of an emotional awakening this month where, if this is another person where you do get to see their sensitivities and you do get to see their soft side, and they may be really just like gushing to you this month about how much they appreciate you and how much they care about you. It's interesting, while I'm talking about this, I feel kind of a shrinking or contracting sensation in my solar plexus. So this is definitely a person who, they're very aware of their emotions. They sometimes struggle with putting them out there because they don't want to take up space with their emotions. They would see it as like a spilling out that they then have to clean up because they don't want their emotions to take up all the space or to dominate the conversation or to be a burden. And so they usually just keep them inside. But I think that that's something that is starting to change this month. And so whether this is you or another person, I do feel like the dam over this person's heart is kind of like cracking. And all that love and appreciation and gratitude and sappiness and sentimental nature is coming out. That is so sweet. Okay, so next we have cards for your career and studies. So, for your tarot card, we have the Emperor. For your oracle card, we have Choice. The Emperor is Aries energy, which we did talk about here. I believe we said the moon was going to be in Aries like right at the start of the month. Oh, maybe I'm mixing them up, but whatever. Aries energy could be significant. And the fact that we have a major arcana here, I do feel like your career path or your study path is going to be like a very major area of focus for you this month. So there's a few different ways I can interpret this energy. First of all, for those of you who are employees, this could be indicating that the authority figure at your work, so like your boss or just someone above you, is bestowing upon you the role of making an important choice. And the way it's coming through is like they're trusting you with something, and it's kind of an honor. They're like for example, maybe there's a big project and they're like, I'm gonna let you make this call. I'm gonna let you make this decision in terms of what direction we take this in terms of who you want on the team working with us, or like there's some major important thing that they are leaving to you. But this feels very, it feels like an honor. Like this person really trusts and values your, like they value your opinion, they trust your judgment, and it's like a really exciting thing that you get to choose, is kind of how it's coming through. Now for others of you, because the Emperor can talk about you really like stepping into your power, claiming your independence, calling the shots in your own life. So for those of you who are on a more independent or self-started path in your career, or you are looking to go in that direction, this is a really lovely confirmation of that being promising for you. And then with this choice card, this is making me think of you having a lot of options. But what I really want to emphasize here is that this energy feels expansive. It doesn't feel scary. This is not one of those things that's like, oh my gosh, I have to make a choice and I'm so scared that I'm gonna make the wrong one. What should I do? It doesn't feel like that kind of choice. It feels like, oh, I'm a bad bitch, I have options. It's like that, it's that kind of vibe. Like you feel happy about having all of these options, or you feel happy that you are trusted to make this important choice. Like the world is opening up for you, doors are opening for you, and there's just this feeling of people trusting your judgment. This could also be a sign of you feeling more confident in your professional or academic role, and recognizing that you have authority in your field, or you have authority in your subject. You're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like you're the one that people go to when they want to know what to do next, or when they don't know what the correct answer is to something. They're like, oh, group number 1 will know. Let me go ask them. So you might see in this coming month, like coworkers or classmates coming up to you when they don't know something, because they trust that you'll have the right answer, or that you will have a good perspective on things. People might be coming to you to help them make choices. That's kind of the vibe. In terms of like a personal reflection thing, I feel like for some of you, your spiritual team could be asking you to just be conscious of either how your family affects your choices in your career path and your academic path, which they could affect it in a good way, in a bad way, in a neutral way, but to just be aware of like, how might my family or my upbringing impact like the choices I make in my career, or with my finances, or in my studies. Or the other way around, how do my career and study choices impact my family? Yeah. So finally, we have your cards for spiritual and personal growth. So for your tarot card, we have the King of Wands. Nice. Oh, wow. Look at you with all the divine masculine energy. I was just about to say like, oh, look at that. We have 2 kings. But not only do we have 2 kings, we have an emperor too. So these are all like divine masculine leaders. You're stepping into your leader energy. And then for your oracle card, we have fire. 2222, as I'm holding up the fire card. Okay, so that actually fits really well together, because the King of Wands is a fire sign. And now I've talked about earth signs, I've talked about air signs, and I've talked about fire signs, which is like 3/4 of the zodiac, but it is what it is. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. There could be a fire sign who is helping you in your spiritual or personal growth, or as you start to heal and as you start to really step into your power, you could notice that any fire placements you have are like really shining through. So, you know, for example, if this was my reading, one of my fire placements is my Aries sun. So like, if this was my reading, this could be saying the more I heal, the more my Aries sun is really going to start coming through. And I actually think that's true for me because I'd be suppressing the shit out of my Aries sun. So, anyway, yeah, this is, so the key to your spiritual and personal growth is about reclaiming your fire. This could actually very well be about activating any fire placements that you might have, or about passion, about you pursuing your passion, and also being proud of how passionate you are and not hiding that away. And it's interesting, fire is associated with the solar plexus. So we spoke about that a little bit over here. You could be working on your solar plexus energy in the month of June, which is like getting more, some of you, you're being celebrated this month, and that might make you feel uncomfortable, or like you're receiving a lot of praise and receiving a lot of gifts, and that might make you feel like uncomfortable or awkward, like kind of not only being in the center of attention, but being recognized as someone who is excellent. You know, you're standing out. There's something excellent about you. There's something, I even want to say the word superior, and I feel uncomfortable saying that because it's like, it's not like you think you're better than people. And actually that may be why you're reluctant to acknowledge when you do something excellently or when you do something in a superior way. There's something that you're like very, very good at, or you've achieved something really, really amazing. But then you're like, if I accept this praise, like I don't want people to think that I think I'm better than them, or like, but like you deserve this praise, you deserve this attention, you deserve to be celebrated. And it's really, think of it as like your passion is being celebrated, your passion is being recognized. Your spiritual and personal growth, I think, is about really letting your fire shine, really letting your fire burn, and proudly letting your passion radiate from you. For some of you, fire does make me think of anger too. So for some of you, this could also be about reclaiming your anger, and recognizing that it does have a place in your life, and that it is a beautiful and transformative emotion, and that it can even have a place in like your spiritual identity. Fire is clearing too. It clears away so that we can bring in new energy. It's transformative. So for some of you, this could also have a message of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. But you're definitely back. You're back. You're ready to get into business. You are starting definitely an exciting new chapter in your life. I'm so excited for you. So for the last part of this reading, we are gonna get, okay, let's start with this one. We are gonna get some messages from your spirit guides. If there is a specific question that you would like to ask your spirit guides, just keep this in mind as I'm shuffling. And if there is a particular spirit guide of yours whom you would like to connect with, keep them in your mind as well. I'm gonna pull 2 cards from this deck. You may want to ask one question and claim both cards as an answer to that one question, or you can also ask 2 and take 1 card for each. If you don't have any specific questions, then this can also just be general guidance. Okay, so keep your questions in mind. Keep your spirit guides in mind. Okay, card number 1 for my group number 1s. Okay, your first answer is peaceful resolution. So everything's gonna be okay in this situation. Things will work out in the best interests of everyone involved. There is nothing to worry about. Things will go favorably. Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Also, I'm just looking at like PR. You could be, yeah, like you could be getting, I know PR, I think it stands for something else, but public recognition. You could be, your public image could be growing, or you or your work is being promoted or something like that. Okay, and card number 2 for my group number 1s, which fell on the floor. Okay, here it is. So your second answer is no, with an exclamation point. There's 2 no's in this deck, and this one has an exclamation point, the other one doesn't. So this one is a bit stronger for sure. Okay, so finally we are going to pull a card from the Divine Abundance Oracle, and let's see what final messages your spirit guides have for you. Individuality. Oh, this is one of my favorite cards. I love this deck so much. It's just, it brings me so much peace, but this is one of my favorites. 30-30, as I'm holding up this card, that's the Empress and the Fool, which means that you can create anything in this world, in this life. You can create anything, you can manifest anything, you can express yourself in any way that you desire. So this is about embracing your own unique energy and expressing your individuality. That's your fire. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. Exactly. Everybody has their own journey. No one can tell you how to do yours. No one can judge yours because they're not on your journey. They don't know what it's like to be on your journey. They don't know the purpose of your journey. They don't know the study plan that you have. So how can they comment on it? And in the same way, you cannot judge anyone else's journey because you don't know what their study plan is. This is just giving you, like, just being so in your lane and so focused on yourself and unbothered about what anyone else is doing or has to say. And yeah, like it goes back to the garlic. You are just protected. You're protected from that kind of BS, and you're staying on your good vibes, and you're making your wishes come true, and that's it. Okay, so my group number 1s, this has been your reading for your month of June 2024. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings. Well, this one isn't really timeless, but exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the clear quartz mushroom, This is going to be your reading all about your month of June 2024. So we're going to start this off with the general overview, which is basically the main themes, the main energies of your month, significant events and changes coming your way, and things like that. So let's get right into it. Your first card is the Six of Thought, which is the Six of Swords. Peaceful times are on the horizon. The storms have passed, and now you can see that your destination is within sight. The stress in your life will begin to fade away, allowing for happier times. It may be necessary to take a journey over water or to another country. What a beautiful message. So, with the Six of Swords, this makes me think of moving on to more peaceful times. Like this passage said, this could be a month where you are focused on improving your mental health, or the work that you have previously done to improve your mental health, you are really seeing the results of that. Like you have a calm and focused mind, you're feeling good, you're feeling like you have a good relationship with your mind and with yourself. For those of you who are manifesting or working towards a goal, this is going to be a month of a lot of clarity. Like this could be the month where you are coming up with a very clear plan that you have a lot of confidence in and like certainty that it's going to work. For others of you, if the way to your destination has been kind of unclear, I do feel like it's going to be very clear this month. Like you can so clearly see what you need to do, how you need to get there. Nothing is like hidden from you. Nothing is up to guessing. Like you're super confident. I know what to do and I know how to get there. Because sometimes when we're manifesting, we don't know how it's going to happen, or there's like many different routes that we could take or many different avenues that our wish could come from. And I feel like this is a month where you're getting clarity about like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. This is the way that I'm going to go. Kind of a specific message that's coming through. This is probably not for everyone, but there's a feeling of something that was pending, like it was being held in a state of pending, and now it's being cleared. Like you were just waiting for the green light, you were waiting for approval, you were waiting for something to come out of like pending, or like you were awaiting a response so that you could keep moving forward with your plans. And now like something has been cleared or something has been lifted. Yeah. And then we also have this message of travel. It may be necessary to take a journey over water or to another country. So that could be confirmation for some of you that you will be traveling in the month of June. Or even if you don't have plans, that could be something that is coming up in the month ahead. So let's keep going. Your next card. Okay, so you have another number 6. That could be an important number for you guys. Or the 6th. I mean, June is actually the 6th month, but the 6th of June could be an important date. We also have offerings. Just in the context of what we've talked about, this is really making me think of self-love. I think that in this month, you're going to be feeling a lot of gratitude for yourself. It will be very clear to you how much your past self loved you and was looking out for you with all of the work that they put in so that you could be the happy, peaceful person you are today. So I think you could be looking back at your past self and showing a lot of gratitude to them, and then paying that forward to your future self. The number 6 does make me think of health. We did speak about mental health, but I just think this is talking about your overall well-being. And I think that moving forward, you really are like looking out for future you and making the best choices for them so they can be as happy and healthy as possible. Offerings does also make me think of like deities. So some of you could be working with a deity, and flowers, certain types of flowers or shells like seashells could be a symbol of them. The number 6 could also be related to the 6th house. So this could be a month where you are really getting organized. There was a feeling of you planning for something or really getting clear about what your next plans are. You could be focused on like your routine and getting healthy, building healthy habits for yourself, but also on service. Because I think you're in a really good place within yourself right now. Like your energy levels are high. Your energy is really good. And so you're starting to think about like, how can I help others achieve this? Or in my current high energy, how can I best serve other people? We have create, nurture your creative energy. Okay, so you could be going on a creative path this month or just full of creative ideas. If you are working on a creative project or pursuing a creative career or something like that, I definitely think that this is confirmation that that is the right path for you and that you will see success on this path. But even if you're not, I do think this is encouragement to explore your creative expression and even like artistic expression. You could be, even if you don't see yourself as a super creative person, you could be inspired by someone close to you to kind of start exploring that side of yourself. So maybe you have like a friend or a sibling or your significant other who's like a really creative person and they're introducing you to new things, or you just watch how they express themselves and they look so happy and it's so cool and like you want to try something too. Or if you are a creative person, it could be the other way around. Like you might be approached by a friend or a close one saying like, I was really inspired by you. I want to try doing something creative as well. Because there's a feeling of you enjoying creativity and enjoying creative expression with loved ones. You know, we have two hands here. It looks like two people working together. And also the number 6 is associated with the lovers, which like it's all about relationships and the people in your life. You could also be bonding through like your love for art. Like you might, for example, this month make a new friend because of your shared love for a certain musician or your shared love for like a certain book series or something like that. This could be a month where like creativity and art is bringing you closer together with people. And it also makes me think of manifestation because you're creating your dream life. You're creating your dream routine. You're really getting your ducks in a row this month. And then we have Douglas fir. Douglas could be a significant name for some of you, like a first or last name. We have the element of earth. So earth sign people could be particularly important this month, or you could be an earth sign, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And that's the same that group number 1 had. And then for our planets, we have Mercury, we have the Sun, and we have Jupiter. Yeah, so there's something here about, first of all, I do think travel is in this month for a lot of you. Not necessarily to another country. Some of you may be doing long distance travel, but I feel like at the very least, most of you who chose this group, you will be going on some kind of short trip, even if it's just to like a nearby city. But I do see you like going out of town for a short period or taking a vacation. But another theme of this month is you becoming more comfortable with expressing yourself or with asserting yourself. Because you will find that this month, when you do so, it leads to positive things. It leads to expansion. If you talk about what you're passionate about, you might inspire someone to check it out. Or if you talk about what you're passionate about, then you might like make new friends with people who like the same things as you. In the same way, even things that could feel uncomfortable, like if you speak up about something that you disagree with or that you're not okay with, that will also lead to constructive conversation. So I think you're finding like anytime you just put yourself out there and speak your mind, I almost want to say like it always leads to something good. this is the energy for this month. You're going to be like, I'm so happy I said something. I'm so happy I expressed myself. It could even be if you're out in public and you see someone that you want to compliment, and usually you would be scared to do that, but then you go up and do it and you can just see that you made that person's day and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so worth it. Or maybe that person, you end up having a really cool conversation with them and you learn a lot, or you make a really interesting connection. It's kind of like, say it. If you have something on your mind, say it, and you will be glad you did. That is the vibe for this month. So you could be, your spiritual team could be calling you to be like a little bit more outgoing. Some of you guys, you could be overcoming social anxiety. And I know that that's a process that takes longer than a month, probably, but I feel like you're little by little just ever so slightly stretching your comfort zone more and more and more, and getting more comfortable like talking to strangers or saying what's on your mind, or being in social settings, and you're really like blooming in those kind of settings. These flowers could also be symbolic of you blooming, but you are being called to be in like an outgoing or social energy this month. And then we have the moon in Aries and the moon in Gemini. So it could be that people with these moon signs are significant, but it could also be that when the moon is in these signs will be an important time of the month. And I was just looking at the moon app for group number 1. So based on that, this period, like from moon in Aries to moon in Gemini, that would be like the first week roughly of June, which is funny because we mentioned that the 6th could be an important date, and that is within the first week. So yeah, first week of June. There's a recipe on the back of these cards. I won't read through the whole recipe, but feel free to pause it if you did want to read it. But the recipe is fermented pine soda to boost the immune system. High in vitamin C, pine treats colds, clears brain fog, hydrates, and revives. Its energetics are awakening, uplifting, and charging. Scots pine is most commonly used, but the flavor of Douglas fir is deeper and more citrusy. The same way Douglas could be a significant name, Scott could as well, or like Scotland. Maybe some of you guys are going to Scotland, which is like very, very specific, but just, I don't know, Scots made me think of that. There could be advice to consume citrus foods. Of course, if you're allergic to them or something, or if you don't like them, ignore me. Or to take vitamin C or eat foods rich in vitamin C and protect your immune system. And honestly, the first thing that's coming to my mind with this is like, sometimes when you travel, your immune system could be weakened, especially if you're traveling long distance and like you're on a plane and then you have jet lag and you're not sleeping well. And I also feel like different countries have like different germs or something. Maybe, because like when I first moved here, I was like sick so much, and now I don't really get sick anymore. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but I feel like maybe my body needed to get used to the like different environment, and maybe there's different strains of germs that my immune system didn't know what to do with it, and now it does. Anyway, all of that to say, take care of your health, take care of your body, take care of your immune system. Yeah. And just more symbolically, we have messages of like, you're being revived, your energy is being awakened. And I feel like that matches with the high energy that I see you in this month, uplifting and charging. It's beautiful. And we also have 3 to 7 days, which again, that makes me feel like the first week of the month is gonna be really significant. Like the first few days. Okay, so let's look at our tea leaf cards now for anything else you need to know about this month. We have flowers with happiness, torch, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. Oh, these are beautiful. And then we have owl, good advice from a wise person. Owls could also be an important symbol or an important spirit animal for you. I wonder if, like, putting these together, it kind of feels like some kind of spiritual mentor who is assisting you in reaching this happiness, in reaching this spiritual development, in reaching self-awareness. It could be a spiritual mentor, it could be a reader, a psychic, it could be a therapist. And also something that is coming to me is that it could be an older relative who is helping you reach happiness, self-awareness, and spiritual development. And even for some of you, this could be a relative who is on the other side, you know, like a grandparent, a great-grandparent, for example, but something that they have left behind on this earth, like the legacy that they have left behind or some kind of writing that they have left behind, could be bringing you enlightenment and bringing you a lot of happiness. But look, like whenever the tea leaf deck gives us 3 positive cards, that's really significant to me, because if you know that deck, you know it's a mixed bag and some of the messages are like not very nice. So the fact that we get 3 positive ones, that's like really, I find that to be so special. And it looks like there's bamboo behind the owl. So, and this looks like some kind of fruit blossoms. So those could also be, oh my gosh, you know what I'm thinking of? I don't even know what this means, but there's this like word in Japanese that's like pine, bamboo, and plum. Maybe it's because like it's woods that are often used, you know, like bamboo, pine wood, and like plum tree wood. But that kind of looks like everything we have here. If I just pretend that these are plum blossoms, because we do have bamboo and pine. Yeah, so Japan could be significant. Scotland could be significant. Anyway, so this concludes the general overview part of your reading. So we're going to get into the specific areas of your life now. As you can see, I have 1 tarot card and 1 oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So let's get started with your love life and relationships. We have the 7 of Swords, and we have structure. Okay, so Aquarius energy could be significant. Actually, both of these have Aquarius energy to them. Mercury in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius. The vibe that this gives me, you know, because this is some kind of sneaky or inauthentic energy. Like this is an energy that's trying to deceive you or trying to trick you. But then with this structure card, this feels like I have too solid of a foundation to fall for that. That's kind of the vibe. Like, or I'm too secure or I'm too grounded to fall for this sneaky or deceptive energy. And of course, this could play out in so many different ways. One way that it could play out is within you. Like you've been working on improving your mental health, and I feel like this is like this sneaky voice in your brain that would say things like, that person doesn't like you. That person's mad at you. That person thinks you're annoying. Like you should just leave people alone because you're such a burden. Like that kind of voice in your head that is just lying to you and saying the most bullshit things. It cannot really... And this card almost feels like an antidote to the Tower, because in the Tower, we see this tower getting struck by lightning and falling down and the people are falling out. But here with structure, these are like sturdy and they're standing tall and proud. And so it's almost like, no, I've done too much work on myself to fall for what this voice is saying. Like, you can't knock me down. You can't control me anymore. I feel like I'm so proud of this group. Like, you have done so much work to improve your mental health, whether that is like by yourself or with loved ones or through therapy or whatever it might be. It could even be through readings or a combination of all of those things. You have built a solid structure of security and self-love and self-respect. So it's like, you won't believe that voice in your head. And also, you know, people who, like other people who might come around with fake love or with not so good intentions, you know, the Seven of Swords is not a great energy. It can indicate someone who's being like manipulative or deceitful. And, you know, there's people who will flatter you or like love bomb you or straight up lie to you to try to get something from you. And it's like, it just doesn't work on you anymore. So for example, if you're single and you're like going out in the dating world, which you may very well be out there and mingling, because we had that message about being more like outgoing and social this month. Like, you will be able to see right through it if someone doesn't have serious intentions with you, or like if someone's not committed, or if someone's going to be flaky with you. I feel like your radar for that kind of stuff is on point, because you've really familiarized yourself with what it feels like to be in an energy of love and security and support and commitment. So you're back outside and you're not falling for anything. That's kind of how it's coming through. So next, we will look at your energy for career and studies. For your tarot card, we have the Six of Cups. A Scorpio sun could be significant to you. That's another 6. We have 3 6s so far. I'm telling you, June 6th, the first 7 days of the month. And then we have anxiety. Okay, something in your workplace or something at school is triggering anxiety, but it's not, the anxiety actually does not stem from a reaction to the current situation. It's a reaction from the past. Something from the past, especially childhood. The Six of Cups, it does talk about the past in general, but more specifically, it's like childhood and children. So the way I'm seeing this come through is like, for example, let's say in your childhood, you had this like a traumatic experience where you were presenting in front of the class, or maybe there was like a school talent show and you were on stage in front of everyone and something really embarrassing happened and then everybody laughed at you and made fun of you and you just felt like crap. When you are presenting at work to your coworkers or to your classmates, obviously that's not the same as a bunch of kids bullying you, but your brain does remember that. So it's like some anxiety that comes from a past memory that was like embarrassing or traumatic for you could be triggered at your workplace or at school. Another example would be like maybe in your childhood when you made mistakes, your teachers or parents would get like disproportionately angry at you and like give you really severe punishments for something that was an honest mistake and make you feel like you're such a bad kid, you're so disobedient. And now in your adult life, you're so afraid to make a mistake at work because you don't want to get that same kind of like harsh treatment or punishment. And so there's sort of this feeling of like that threat may not be there anymore, but the memory is there. And so there you could find that there's like certain things that are like triggering your anxiety. And maybe this is something that's not exclusively happening in June. It could be something that's been going on for quite some time, but you're having more awareness of it now, because there's a lot about like, you know, you're in a good place mentally, enlightenment, awareness, understanding. So, you know, becoming more aware of these feelings and realizing maybe this isn't a reaction to the reality of my current situation, but it's my brain remembering something from the past, and an alarm is going off, like trying to protect me from that bad thing happening again. It could also be like, for example, if you have past experience being in a toxic workplace or a toxic study environment, then things could be re-triggered from that past as well. But, you know, Scorpio energy as well, there's a feeling of shadow work and also getting to the root of things and shining light on that so that you can transform it. So this could very well be the month where you are overcoming these feelings of anxiety. There could also be an anxiety related to some kind of pressure that you feel to perform really, really well. Like you have to be perfect, you can't make mistakes. And that is also coming from the past. Okay, and then finally we have your cards for spiritual and personal growth. For your tarot card, we have Temperance. This is Sag energy, Sagittarius energy. And for your oracle card, we have Movement. Oh my gosh, both of these give travel vibes. Like the sign of Sagittarius is related to travel, and then obviously movement. So yeah, travel's in the cards for most of you, if not all of you. So, you know what this energy is making me think of? Balance. And how you have to keep moving forward to keep your balance. You got to keep moving. That's what you are learning. You have to keep moving forward. Your speed does not matter, but just that forward motion. Because I'm thinking about when you ride a bike, if you stop moving, you will tip over one way or the other. And to keep the bike balanced, you have to keep pedaling. You have to keep going forward. And Temperance very much has that feeling of maintaining the perfect balance and refining it. So when you feel your bike starting to tip this way a little bit, you adjust your core, right? And I think for most people who ride their bike, it's a subconscious thing. You're not constantly thinking like, oh, I gotta like shift my body weight a bit. I gotta engage my core to like stay upright. It's just something that you subconsciously do, and that stops you from falling over one way or the other. But you have to keep that forward motion. And like a plane too, if the plane stops going forward, it will fall down. So there's something about getting over perfectionism. I think like it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's okay to slow down. It's okay if you don't make the same amount of progress every time, but just keep going, just keep moving forward. That is the best thing to do. Because if you stop, it might be very difficult to get yourself started up again. Another thing is to not throw away your goals if you make a small mistake. So don't focus on perfection and like maintaining the streaks. It's like, for example, if you let's say you had a goal to exercise every day and then you missed a day. Just keep going. Just go the next day. Just keep going. We don't have to, like, don't even think about it. Or if you're playing a piece on the piano Like my teacher used to tell me this all the time for like recitals and exams and stuff. If you make a mistake, just keep going. You don't have to be like, oh, sorry guys, I made a mistake. Like you don't have to do that. Just keep moving forward, keep it pushing. That's your piece of advice here. Because in that example of exercising even, it's like if you fall into that mindset of like, oh no, I broke my streak, then it's easy to think I might as well just like throw away my goal because I already failed. You know? Like focusing on perfection and making it this all or nothing thing, I just feel is really not helpful. And the consistent forward motion and just progress is the most important thing. Progress, not perfection. Okay, I am almost out of space on this SD card, so we are gonna switch her out. But we have one last part of the reading where we are going to ask your spirit guide some questions. I have these two oracle decks, so this one is gonna be for any specific questions you have, so you can choose what questions you wanna ask. This is just gonna be for like general messages and advice. So think about what questions you'd like to ask, and if there's a spirit guide in particular of yours whom you would like to speak to, keep them in mind as well. I'm going to change my card and I will see you shortly. So let's start with your specific questions. I'm gonna pull 2 cards from this deck. You may ask one question and then use both cards for the answer, or you may ask 2 questions and then it will be 1 card for each of them. For group number 2, your first answer okay, we have 2 for your first answer. We have unlikely. Okay, unlikely, and there's something better. I also wanted to mention when I was shuffling, a card forgiveness flipped over. It didn't come out, but it flipped over. So I saw the word forgiveness. So another message that I might add to this is that if something doesn't work out, it is not your fault. Okay, and answer number 2. So keep the question in mind while I'm shuffling. Answer number 2 for group number 2. Answer number 2 is yes. Yes, with an exclamation point. There are 2 yeses and nos in this deck, one with an exclamation point and one without. And this is the one with, which means that it is a very strong yes. Yeah. And then we're going to pull a card from the Divine Abundance Oracle for your overall messages and guidance. Intuition. I love this image. Each person's road to the inner Lord is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. I said this in group number 1 too, but I love this deck so much. I love it so much. I think it's one of my favorite oracle decks. Okay, so those are all the messages for my group number 2s. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. Of course, a wonderful month of June, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Amethyst, this is going to be your reading all about your month of June 2024. We're going to start this off with a general overview. So we are going to look at the main themes and the main energies of the month, significant events and changes coming your way, and things like that. So let's get into it. Your first card is the Guardian of Thought, which I believe this is the King of Swords. You may be called upon to be a spokesperson for a cause close to your heart. Your angels will give you the perfect words and you'll do brilliantly. You may be asked to be a mentor or find one yourself. This situation involves someone who's professional, with a positive attitude and fresh ideas. This person, who could be you, may be emotionally unavailable. Okay, there is a lot to look at here. Let's start with this. You may be called upon to be a spokesperson for a cause close to your heart. This is making me think that for many of you, in the month of June, there is some important occasion where you are going to be called upon to speak. And, you know, this can be so many different things. You could be giving a presentation. You could be giving a speech. You could be like presenting your research. You could be negotiating with someone. You could be debating someone. But it's like you are the one who is in charge to step up and speak. And I do feel like there's a little bit of nerves or pressure here, whether this is in a professional environment or like a celebratory environment. There's a feeling of like the eyes are on you and someone else or a group of people are waiting to hear what you have to say. And what you have to say is going to hold weight. Ooh. And so you may be spending this month preparing for this, brainstorming for this, studying or researching for this. It's like you have to present something. Your angels will give you the perfect words and you'll do brilliantly. You may be asked to be a mentor or find one yourself. So you could be going through some kind of like coaching or training or studying for this occasion. You may also be, for some of you, you could be entering into a role where you are a coach, a counselor, a mentor, an advisor, and you're like preparing for that, because that's also a situation in which your words hold a lot of weight. Like to your clients, you know, they're coming to you to hear the truth, to hear your assessment, to hear your advice. And so, you know, and I feel like when you're on the receiving end of that kind of thing, you maybe don't think about how your mentor could be just as nervous as you are. You know, so you might have people coming to you for this guidance and like they're nervous, but the thing is that you are actually nervous to give them the advice. Like you, whatever this may be, I feel like there's that pressure of like, I hope I say the right things. I hope I do a good job. This situation involves someone who's professional with a positive attitude and fresh ideas. This person, who could be you, may be emotionally unavailable. Some of you could be dealing with an emotionally unavailable person, or emotional detachment could be important for your success. Like, especially if you're like negotiating with someone or putting forth an argument or like debating with someone, or if you're going to receive feedback, it may be important to kind of detach emotionally and just take the feedback objectively rather than like validating or invalidating you. But whatever this is, this feels like an important event. I have a strong smell of sage right now, which I have not burned any sage, but it could be significant for you. Let's go into the next card. Ooh, we have rumination. That's also a very thinky energy. Like we have the guardian of thought and then we have rumination. Yeah, there is some sort of important like brainstorming or planning that is going on this month as you prepare for something. And then I also feel like after the fact, there's like a performance review or some kind of like debriefing where you're going over what happened. So just for one example, let's say you gave a TED talk and so you are, you know, planning what you're going to say and you're practicing over and over and thinking over like every word you want to say and the impact you want to have. Then you go and do the talk, and then afterwards you will watch back the recording of it and like analyze yourself and see what you did well and what needs improvement. I feel like you're refining your presentation skills, your articulation skills, your persuasive skills, and you're also brushing up on your knowledge about something too. And we have forgiveness, set yourself free. Okay, so there's a piece of advice from your spiritual team that, you know, this kind of reflection and planning is very important. But at the same time, remember that you are only human and nobody can do these things perfectly. You know, with rumination, you may fall into a trap of overthinking. Like, I could have said this better, or, oh no, like I made a mistake, I stumbled. And it is very admirable that you've put in so much practice and effort to do a good job. But at the same time, you have to be gentle with yourself. It's like holding yourself to a high standard because this is the king. But at the same time, being gentle with yourself. And also, I do feel that there is a need for discernment between studying how other people do it as a reference or to gain inspiration versus looking at how other people are doing it and like comparing yourself or saying I should do it more like them. Because with this unicorn here, that just always makes me think of uniqueness, like your own uniqueness, your own individuality. You are going to do this in your own unique way. No one's going to do it quite like you. And that is what makes it so special. And that's probably why you were chosen in this role. Like, I remember one time my friend got married and she asked me to sing at her wedding, and other people performed at her wedding too. Cause like she had multiple friends who were like musical or, you know, they prepared something to perform. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, that person's performance was so much better than me, and like getting down on myself. And it's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because we're here to celebrate our friend's wedding. And if you start beating yourself up and taking things personally and comparing yourself to others, it kind of takes away from the honor that it is in the first place that you got to do this and like why we're really here, you know? And going back to that TED Talk example, maybe in that example, you raise awareness about something that not a lot of people know about, but the information, car honking is a confirmation. So some of you are meant to raise awareness about a subject that either people don't know about or people don't like care about enough, and you want to get them to care. And that is what is important. What's important is that people will walk away from your talk having more knowledge about that subject and maybe even got interested in it and are going to go and do some of their own research. Like, they do not care that you stuttered 5 minutes in, or you know what I mean? So there could be a sense of like judging yourself harshly on your performance when which it's good to reflect so that you can improve for the next time. But I think your spiritual team is just saying, remember to look at the bigger picture. Like the bigger picture is that you went out there, you did the thing, you spoke about the thing that mattered to you, and people heard you. And you did an amazing job. I mean, I'm speaking about the future, but I already know that you did an amazing job. So next, we have broadleaf plantain, and everybody got the earth element today. All 3 groups got the earth element here. So earth sign people could be significant, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn people, or perhaps you have earth placements. We have the planets Saturn and Venus. So there is a sense of things going well for you professionally. You could be, and actually this is maybe confirmation that you've done well. I feel like there's some deal that is going successfully. Like a business deal is going successfully, or a really big offer is coming in, or a big order is coming in. It's like you're getting a lot of business. If you're doing any kind of negotiations or signing contracts, I feel like that's going to go smoothly and harmoniously as well, where all parties are happy. This is a little bit more specific, but if you're involved in any like legal matters, I feel like that's also going to go smoothly and work in your favor. But the vibe of this is really that hard work and diligence will be rewarded. And then we have the moon in Capricorn. So again, someone with a Capricorn moon could be significant, or it could be that when the moon is in Capricorn is going to be an important time of the month. And just going off, I looked at my moon app when I did group number 1. And so just going off of that, I'm pretty sure that the moon will be in Capricorn at the very end of the month. And we also have the number 32. Obviously there is no 32nd of June, but this could be indicating that, you know, the final days of the month and also into early July are going to be significant for you, and especially are going to be like a fruitful time for business, and especially like business deals or negotiations or contracts or like agreements that you're making with other parties, that will go in your favor. And let's also look at the back. So each card in this deck has a little recipe on the back. I'm not going to read through the whole recipe. I'll just read this passage here, but do feel free to pause the video if you wanted to read it. So this is plantain poultice for bites and stings. Plantain treats excess fluids. It has a soothing and astringent effect, particularly in the digestive and respiratory tracts, and is used as an expectorant. I don't know what any of these mean. I know diuretic though. Expectorant, demulcent, diuretic, and antiviral remedy. Shown here, Plantago major has broad oval leaves and flowers with purple anthers. Plantago lanceolata can also be used. It has thin, ovate, deeply veined leaves and flowers with yellow anthers. I don't know what anthers is, but I don't know a lot of these words. But there is a message of soothing, especially in your stomach and your lungs. So again, this is making me think of nerves, something that would calm nerves. And because, you know, when you get nervous, you can feel like a knot in your stomach, or maybe your breathing gets fast or shallow. So this is kind of a soothing remedy to combat that. Also diuretic. I feel like you can go to the bathroom a lot when you're nervous. So yeah, I feel like you're dealing with nerves, and there's some kind of performance that you're doing. And even I was thinking with broadleaf, and maybe I'm reading too deeply, but I did think about looking at the broader picture and not nitpicking yourself for how well you have done. Aloe vera as well. It makes me think of treating sunburns. Sunburns, bites, stings. You could be working on your skincare in the month of June, or you could be going somewhere warm, or it's just getting warmer. Because aloe vera makes me think of like sunburns, which I think I already said that. And then we have 10 minutes, which could be significant. Like you're preparing for something that is going to be 10 minutes long, or you could be also, for example, building a new habit where you do something for 10 minutes a day. Maybe 10 minutes of deep breathing or 10 minutes of meditation every day will help with your nerves. Okay, and then we are going to look at your tea leaf cards for any additional messages, things you need to know about the month ahead. We have egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. I love that. Egg meaning potential for something new to emerge in your life. And I also love that the egg looks golden. So you have, after this, you could be getting some kind of business offer or job offer, or you could be making really positive business connections. The golden egg feels like potential for wealth, or like the potential for business opportunity. We also have fair woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. Also, I'm thinking of fair as in justice. So, and especially because we've been talking about negotiations going smoothly, contracts being beneficial for all parties, legal matters going smoothly. So there could be a message that justice will be served to you, or the people you are dealing with will be fair. They will be playing fair. And anyone who is evaluating or assessing you will also be fair to you. And then we have the sun, happiness and well-being. Love it. And also the sun is like you're in the spotlight and you're shining. That's beautiful. Also a Leo person could be significant with the sun. All right, so now we're gonna get into the specific areas of your life. So as you can see, I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love life and relationships. We have the Seven of Wands, and there is Leo energy again. And we have self-doubt. And this makes a lot of sense too. Look at this. This looks like a trophy. Like you're a winner. You are such a winner. You are so intelligent, you are so talented, you are so capable. But then when you look in the mirror, you see this skull and crossbones. I feel like for a lot of you, this is about relationships. The most important relationship this month is the relationship with yourself and seeing how brilliant you are. The fact that this is coming up, I feel that many of you who chose this group do not really see yourself accurately. When you see yourself in the mirror, or even, for example, when you see yourself back in a recording, or when you listen to yourself in a recording, like, oh, my voice is so whatever, or like, oh, I sound so dumb, I sound so awkward, I look so awkward. Like when you're looking back or hearing back on yourself, you don't see what everyone else sees. Everyone else just sees a brilliant light, and you are your harshest critic for sure. Definitely. And it's important. Like, I'm not saying, oh, you should like yourself because everyone else does, but I think this is just bringing up an inaccuracy, maybe, because of an excess harshness in how you perceive yourself. And, everybody can think you're the most amazing person in the world, but it doesn't matter if you don't believe that yourself. And I think your spiritual team just really wishes that you would see it and that you would believe it. With the Seven of Wands, there is a feeling of a fight, and you can even see on this card, like she has, I don't know if that's a sword or a bat or what, and she has a bandage on her face and on her hand too, and like she looks like she's ready to fight. She looks tough. So maybe some of you have felt like I'm thinking of that Pink song that's like, I'm a hazard to myself. I'm my own worst enemy. Don't want to... Oh, I don't remember the lyrics. I don't even remember what it's called. But she's basically talking about how like she wishes she could be someone else and she's her own worst enemy. It was from like maybe her first album or like her earlier albums. And feeling like the pressure to change who she is. Anyway, maybe that song is significant for you, but I feel like you are mostly working on your relationship with yourself. But I think that there's a piece of advice for some of you to not see your self-doubt as an enemy or like something that you have to fight or something that you struggle against. Because what your self-doubt really needs is compassion and love and understanding and gentleness. You could also be working through a habit of taking things personally. So, for example, if you submitted your work somewhere and you got some critical feedback, to not take that as like, oh my gosh, this person is saying I suck, or like this person doesn't like me, or I knew I wasn't cut out for this, and just taking it for what it is. And that kind of goes back to the emotionally unavailable thing. I don't think you're being encouraged to be emotionally unavailable, but to just have like a healthy detachment from those emotions and recognize like this criticism can help me improve. And as long as you or anyone else is not being like unnecessarily rude or mean, you can take this criticism without seeing it as like an attack on you or saying that you are not good at this or that you shouldn't be doing this, because that is not the case. We say a lot with boundaries, like, I'm not setting boundaries to push you away. I'm setting boundaries to keep you around. And isn't that the truth? Like, we assert our boundaries so that we can continue having a healthy relationship with the people in our lives. And so if someone's giving you constructive criticism, it's because they want you to keep going. It's because they believe in your potential. It's not because they want you to stop or they think that you're not good at it. It's because they do think that you're good at it and they want you to keep building. Yeah, that just kind of clicked for me that it's similar to boundary setting. We don't set boundaries with people we don't want around. Otherwise we wouldn't bother. We just walk away. You don't need boundaries if someone's like is irrelevant and has nothing to do with you. It's because you want them there. Yeah. Okay, so next we have cards for your career and studies. Ooh, okay, we have the 8 of Wands. You're going to be a busy bee this month. And we have self-care. I want to go back to that 10 minutes a day. This is probably talking about some kind of self-care thing that you can do just for 10 minutes. And even longer, if you want to do it even longer, that is even better. But for those who are kind of workaholics or self-care kind of falls to the wayside, I think is the expression, really just 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Like 10 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of breathing, 10 minutes of journaling, of lighting your favorite scented candle, of just doing nothing. Even just those short increments can be really helpful. Because with the 8 of Wands, this definitely means that you have a lot going on this month with work, with school, or both. If you do both, you could have multiple projects going at once. There's also a feeling of your inbox could be really piling up. You could have a lot of orders coming in. Like if you have a shop, or it could be a company you work for as well that is getting a lot of orders, but it's like you're getting a lot of business, and that's a good thing. But the more stuff comes in, the more we have to kind of be on top of stuff and managing it. And also the need for self-care becomes even more important, so that we don't end up facing burnout. Yeah, so it just seems like there's a lot going on. But it's going well. Everything is going smoothly. I was just talking about this in another reading, because I was using a different deck, and the Eight of Wands card looked a lot more like chaotic. Like the wands were kind of going all over the place. But you can see in this one, and in a lot of Eight of Wands, they're all going, like they're not going to crash into each other. It's all going smoothly. It's all organized. Staying organized could be really, really helpful as well. It could just make things faster, make things more efficient. And there's something about like, let's say you're sitting down to start a project. If you take a few minutes at the start to get organized, even though it's a hassle, it will make the whole process a lot smoother. So like if you're sitting down to study for an exam, rather than just like diving into it, just take a few minutes to intentionally plan and organize your study session. Or I'm thinking of, for myself, like mixing a song. You have to take a moment to organize everything, and it will just make everything so much faster. But I don't like doing that. But then it makes the process later on a lot more annoying and messy and confusing. So staying organized will be really important. I'm also the type of person who writes everything in the same notebook, and then I get really confused. So maybe having like separate notebooks, separate folders, just make sure everything is in its right place. Because I feel like you have multiple projects going on, multiple like threads of conversations with different people. Maybe you have multiple subjects to study for, multiple exams, and like, I know you're tired, but please don't let them get mixed up together. It will just get really confusing. Just make sure everything is nicely organized. Okay, and finally, we have your cards for your spiritual and personal growth. So for your tarot card, we have the Lovers. And for your oracle card, oh my gosh, and we were talking about boundaries. We have the Lovers and boundaries. So the Lovers is about relationships in general. Of course, the name of the card and the image on the card looks quite romantic. So for those of you who are in a romantic relationship, you could be discussing boundaries with your partner, and that's going to look different for every relationship, but you could be like getting clear on the boundaries that you have with each other and just feeling better about where you stand in the relationship. But like I said, the Lovers, it's just all of your relationships in general, and more specifically, the choices you make in relationships. And I feel like this is a card that promotes health in your relationships and intimacy. And having boundaries is very important for that, for having a healthy relationship and for having, intimacy that feels safe and that feels good for everyone. There could also be, even thinking about the Lovers and intimacy, it could be like boundaries within sexuality as well. But I think this is a big focus for you in the month of June. The Lovers is Gemini, so a Gemini person could be significant. Or like a twin, whether that's like a biological twin or a spiritual twin, or like, because we have the number 6 and it's June, like a June born Gemini could also be significant. I am also getting the feeling, because like we've spoken a lot about business and business relationships and receiving feedback from people. This could also be boundaries in the sense of what you allow to what you allow to live in your head. Like if you're gonna let someone live in your head rent free or not. You know, like me, for example, I have to have boundaries between KINO and Carrie. So if I get like a mean comment or something, I can't go about my day as Carrie thinking about that mean comment, because that's having bad boundaries with my job, and that's having bad boundaries with strangers on the internet. You know, if someone who I really love and care about in my personal life has a problem with me, then yes, I will let that live in my head. And I will not charge it rent. And I will think about it and reflect on it and ruminate on it and address it. But if it's like, if I went to work, if I have a retail job and a customer said something rude to me, okay, like I'm not gonna take that home with me. I'm not, you know. So I hope you guys know what I mean. Like the boundaries within your mind as well, and whose opinion you're gonna value and whose opinion you're not gonna value, because that is also your choice, and that is also something to be discerning about, because it's not correct or possible to care about every single person's opinion, and it's also not correct to not give a shit about what anyone says, you know? So you could be just being more aware of those boundaries. And anxiety is a funny thing. Like sometimes I'll feel the anxiety, but I don't even remember why, like what got me in a tizzy in the first place. And I sort of have to backtrack my thoughts, and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's that comment that I read an hour ago. Like I don't even remember what it is, but the anxiety is still sitting there. And so you may just be more aware of your feelings and be like, what interaction or what information that came in is making me feel this way, and is this something that I really need to be worried about? Like I'm logged off, I'm at home, I'm cuddling with my dog. Why do I need to be thinking about what this person said at work or on the internet or wherever? So like, yeah, boundaries in your brain, basically. Now, for the last part of the reading, we're going to be using these oracle decks for messages and advice from your spirit guides. I'm going to start with the Angel Answers deck, and we're going to get answers to any questions you have. So if there's a specific question you'd like to ask your guides, just keep that in mind as I'm shuffling. And if there's a particular spirit guide of yours whom you would like to hear from, keep that in your mind as well. I'm going to pull 2 cards. So you may want to ask one question and have the 2 cards answer that one question. You may want to ask 2 questions and have 1 card for each. Or you may not want to ask any questions and just want general guidance. So it's really up to you. But keep in mind what guidance or what answers you would like as I'm shuffling. Okay, the first answer for my group number 3s. The first answer is opportunity. Wow. And we've talked about that a lot, and there's the golden egg and the golden coins falling from the sky and all those messages about even the 8 of Wands. It's like business is coming in, falling from the sky, like money is falling from the sky, opportunities are falling from the sky. The word business just keeps coming to my mind. Like business is good this month. And the second answer for my group number 3s is a year from now. Okay, and for our final card, we are going to pull this from the Divine Abundance Oracle. And so this will just be general message and advice that your spirit guides would like to give you. I always loved this image. Like, I've had this deck for a long time. I don't know, I just really like this image. How they're like planning over the globe. Group number 3, spirit guides. What messages or advice do you have for them? Awakening. Oh my Lord, wake me from life as a spiritual sheep. May I hear you through my own instincts and common sense. Beautiful. I wonder as well if, I feel like you're definitely breaking free from thought patterns that have held you down, but I wonder if, you know, this like presentation or performance or speaking or whatever it may be that you're being called to do is kind of awakening others. There's a feeling of you're lifting the veil from other people. You're opening their eyes. For some of you, you're delivering truth or information, delivering speech that is so profound that some people will kind of be shook. Like, what have I thought to be true my whole life? What have I been taught my whole life? Is it all a lie, or like, has the truth been hidden from me? You could be really exposing truth to some people with the work that you're doing. Okay, so my group number 3s, these are all the messages for you. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you a wonderful month of June, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoyed my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings, just like this one, even though this one's not technically timeless, but the ones on Patreon are. And you can also decide on topics for future readings over there. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.